All right. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to. All right. Hey guys, good evening. Welcome. Let me pause this so I'm not. Ooh, sorry about that background. Hey Karen, hey Mary, hey Rosie. Thanks for joining me. Good evening. Welcome to another Sunday night tutorial. I am Tara Beth with Tara Beth Stamps. I appreciate you joining me. I am going to do a card tutorial today using the sweet gingerbread house. I've also brought in the dies from the snowman die set to create this card. Hey Angie, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. So this is what we're doing, just a super simple card. Has quite a few die cuts, but a fun Christmas card. And it, amazingly enough, it doesn't take a lot of time to put it together. So this is one of them that you could make a couple of and send out to your family and friends. We're going to use the sweet gingerbread die or stamp set, as well as the dies, and then the snowman dies. So let's get started with a little bit of stamping first. All right, hey Vicki, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. So what I have is I have my Stamparatus and I already have it set up. And so I think it's I have a 3" by 4" piece of paper, but it's way big. And that's so that I can keep it magneted down. I'm gonna take some crumb cake and just stamp it. And the reason that I'm doing it on the Stamparatus is sometimes these solid stamps don't always get a perfect image that first time. And I can already tell I'm not gonna get a perfect image, see? So we're gonna ink it up again. See how many times, hopefully 2 times will do it. But I think we're gonna have to go 3. Maybe my magnets are too close. I'm not real sure what's going on there. I'm gonna press it really hard with my thumb. There we go. And I'm just gonna do one more for good measure. Maybe I'll get a really good image. All right, perfect. All right, so this is gonna be the start of our gingerbread house. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another piece of basic white. Actually, we'll just use this one. I'm gonna take another piece of basic white. Yep, Mary, the magnet was bothering it. All right, so I'm gonna take a couple of different stamps from the gingerbread house. First, we're gonna use this swirly twirly sort of guy, and we're gonna stamp him right here. And actually I have one already die cut, so we're gonna use that one. So I'm gonna take some sweet sorbet. I used the, I'm gonna wipe off some of that ink because I got a little over excited with my ink here. I used a lot of the, make sure it's good and dry now that I've cleaned it off. A lot of the end colors. I'm going to pull this down a little bit because we want to make sure that we make room for that rooftop. We'll give that a wipe. We're going to pull in the rooftop now. Pull that basic white out again. We can do this rooftop on there. And then it looks like I think I have everything else stamped and die cut. I went ahead and did that stuff ahead of time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring out my mini cut and emboss. If I can get it. Got it tangled up in here. And so I love this little guy. You'll see me use it a lot. It's perfect to take to crops. It's perfect just to leave on your desk. So if you've got some fairly small stuff, you don't have to get up. You can just keep working and go right ahead. So we will bring in our rooftop die. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of tape on that because it makes me nervous rolling that through, because I'm afraid it's going to slide around because that's a tight. I want to stand up. There we go. Looks like you got to get it just right. Hold your tongue right. There we go. All right, so there's just one sandwich. You have the one plate and two of the two plates on the mini cut and emboss. And then you can pull it right out here. We're gonna pop that there. I'm gonna pull this die off and save the tape for the next time. And then I'm gonna fold it back up and stick those plates right there where I always know where they're at. So we'll get that out of the way. All right, so we'll take a little bit of liquid adhesive, not a lot. And I'm gonna use some tweezers so my fingers don't get all icky. And I'm gonna put that right on the rooftop. All right. We'll set that aside and we're going to work on the rest of the card front. So what I use today is I use some of the gold and silver DSP that you can get free with Celebration. This is a super awesome set that I've been using a ton. It looks like snow and I just can't get enough of it. Then I have a piece of the 2022 to 2024 in colors in Sweet Sorbet to coordinate with that as the background. I have die cut a piece of the 2022-2024 glitter paper already, and I left it on the die because I kind of wanted to show you guys how I take these off. So on this particular die with the snowflakes, you need to make sure that you have your piece cut out, because it doesn't cut all the way out. So you have to have your border there. So you'll see that there's a lot of pieces that are in that you need to kind of clean up. So I just take a pair of tweezers or my take your pick tool and kind of pop those out to clean it up. I didn't shut the door. My bulldog came in here to visit me. Hopefully she doesn't make any noise. She's usually pretty quiet. It is so hot here in Missouri today. I feel like I'm dehydrated. I have been drinking water all day long, but I don't normally complain when it gets hot because I don't like winter, but it is so warm here. Alright. Oops, we don't want to do that. So sometimes I flip it over to kind of see where else I need to clean up. Because with these little intricate dies, it's easy to miss a spot or two. Because some of them are going to be there to help you pop it out of the die, and then some of them are going to be there because you need to clean it up. And I feel like they're a lot easier to clean up in the die than they are all right. I think that finally has it. So you're going to see when I pull this off, it's super intricate. Only 75, Rosie? Nice. No, it's like a gazillion degrees here. So warm. And like I said, I don't normally complain when it's hot because I hate the cold that much, but this weekend has been a little over the top. Okay, I'm going to clean these pieces off and get them out of the way. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this die cut to my silver DSP. So one of the things that I do is, this is a super thin border. So it needs some pretty little dimensionals. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut my edge on my dimensionals right along the edge of where that corner comes. I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to do the same thing. I like to use half dimensionals sometimes rather than the minis. I've used the minis, but I like the big ones in the halves, but a little bit better. So what you'll see is I've got 3 pieces. And so I'm going to take the 2 shorter ones and put them at the top, being careful not to drag it over. I'm going to bring one at the bottom. And then I'm going to take my paper snips. I'm going to cut this one in half, so I have one for each side. Okay. Get rid of these sides. I'll peel these off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carefully place that on my DSP, and I want to be careful to line up corner to corner before I adhere down, because it's an open face die, it can get a little wonky. There we go. Kind of like right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of turn this around and see how I think it'll look best. And I think what I want is I want more of the snowflakes at the top versus the bottom. So I am going to take my pre-stamped gingerbread house and put some dimensionals on it. It is gorgeous. I love, you're right, Mary. I love, love, love this glimmer paper. The catalog has so much glimmer paper right now. This July to mini, as well as July to December, as well as the annual catalog. And I can't get enough of the glimmer paper. So I'm going to feed this right below there and just set it there. Kind of center it. Now what I've done is I've stamped and cut the door and the windows, and then a little candy piece to put right in the center. Before we do that though, I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to the back of the card, or the card front. That way it's on there and we won't have to mess with it once we get it all put together. So I'm just going to line that up on that DSP, which I love, by the way. I haven't used it in a few weeks. So when I was getting today's card ready, I was like, yeah. Now I'm going to be careful and feed this down under the snowflakes. There we go. So this one I did die cuts. On the original, I just stamped. And I like the die cut image a little bit better just because you get that outside white border. And I think that's a little more indicative of a gingerbread house. So it makes me think of more of the frosting on the outside that's coming out of those windows. All right, and lastly, we're just gonna put that gumdrop right on the top. Okay. So there's the card front for the most part. We have one other little thing to do for it. Now? Sound? Is anyone, can you hear me? Hello, hello? Oh. Okay, well, hopefully you guys can hear me. Here's the today's card from your homes, from our home to yours. Have a sweet Christmas. Everything will be on my blog tomorrow. Thanks for joining me on Sunday night. Sorry for the technical difficulty. My phone's dying, so that's what caught us. Thanks so much, and I will see you again next week.